Hi, everybody. This is Marilyn. Do we have audio for this today? Maybe we might. Thank you. Hello, everybody. This is Marilyn, and it's time for the noon edition of Welcome to My World. This is the 6th day of March, and it is Monday. So happy Monday, everybody. How's everybody doing today? This hasn't been the most exciting morning we've ever had, that's for sure. A little bit tough, I think. But the big nice trade of the morning was in bonds, and it was a really nice move down to settlement. So I've got the ZB up, but the ZN and the ZF should have been pretty darn close to that. The other thing, finally, after it got through fiddling around for a while this morning, is gold. And gold made a nice move down. It put in two elevators during that whole move down. Those are a little tough to read. And what they're doing is they're knocking out stops on the way down. So that causes a lot of that elevator stuff, especially with this move down in gold. That's probably been the Central Bank of Australia, the Royal Bank of Australia, is going to announce their interest rate thing this afternoon. I mean, it's early evening when it's daytime down there, but it's not expected to. They're not expected to do much with it, but there is a lot of move. It's supposed to be unchanged, but the Audi is continuing to struggle, and this is what gold is doing right now. It's kind of following its currency friend. But anyway, all the indices this morning, they were all going down with the one exception of YM, and it made a move up that was a tradable move. It wasn't the very best one, that's for darn sure. But they all seem to be, for about the last hour and a half, just kind of in a choppy mode. There just hasn't been a heck of a lot of good stuff this morning, that's for sure, with the exception of the bond trade. And bonds generally, if they're going to make a nice move like this, they'll do it about around 8:30 to 9-ish Eastern, so whatever time zone you're in. The VIX is still very unexcited. The volatility is way down. So this is just a waiting game. We'll get better trades. Better trades later this week. I sure hope so anyway. Usually when it's like this on Monday, then it sets up for midweek trading that we can take advantage of. I've seen a lot of questions come through about different things in the chat, and I thought I'd take a minute to remind people. I know at first, when you first start, you're looking at your one chart that you're trying to learn what the rules are and to see them in real time live and recognize where the entries are, and is this where I should get in, and where does my stop go, and where's my profit, and all that stuff. But as you get a little more comfortable and you've got your rules nailed down, and then not every trade is going to work out, that's just for sure, and there is no system on the face of this earth that's perfect, and there is no trade, even if you follow all the rules, it's going to work out 100% of the time. This is probabilities. We're looking for probabilities, and you want the probabilities in your favor. so you're not getting into low probability trades and then thinking, oh, wow, look, it did work. Well, you know what? For every one of those you have, you're going to have 10 that don't. So when you start doing that, you'll learn pretty fast that that's not going to be, that's not just not going to pan out for you. So the whole point of this is to be very discerning and get really picky about what are the best ones. You just want the best ones, because there's a bazillion trades every day. I mean, anybody can find a trade every day, but you want the best ones. So what you have to do is develop your eye to just screen out the noise. Forget the noise. You're looking for specific, targeted. You have to be a little bit like a hunter. There's just all kinds of stuff out there to hunt, but you're looking for a specific kind of a thing, whatever it is, and you know exactly what you're looking for. And you may have to wait and wait and wait and wait a long time to find it, but eventually you'll get it. So that patience game is a big deal. But what I have found, especially in markets like today, is to have, I think most people have come to the conclusion that if you're going to trade crude oil, you're probably a little better off to keep using the 12-tick chart. Some people do use 10, but 10 can get you jerked around a little bit more than 12. 12 smooths it out a little better. But when you have days like today, I like to have a 6-tick just to look at. And one of the things that was asked this morning was about taking this little move right here down, and is this a good place to take it, because we had the VAD. I mean, clearly it wasn't going to go up any farther right here. So the only other way for it to go is down, unless it goes to chop. But when it's this slow, if you have, I find a 6-tick, I have one on gold also, is very helpful, because you get a little different perspective. And it's not that you put the exact same indicators on both of them, but if you put every indicator known to mankind on one chart, you're going to get paralyzed. It's just it turns into a nightmare. But for instance, when this was thinking about coming down here, one of the things you can do is look at your slower chart. I mean, when it's a slower day, to look at your halftime chart. And when this cleared this MVP triangle line right here, you had the flip on these, you had the trend-R flip, you had the band flip, the E, everything's telling you it's going down right here, so where's the spot? Well, if you wait until it clears right here, then that's pretty good. You could get a 10-tick scalp off of that. I don't like trading these, but if you were looking to go down, instead of trying to do it off of this 12-tick chart where you're just not, you see there's all kinds of traffic in here. Once it clears settlement, there's the green ice and the blue ice and the swing low and the low of the prior session, which this is last Friday's low. So this is going to take a lot of volume to get through here. And you had confirmation with all this, but then you look over here, and right about the just before that, you have confirmation on this. I don't like this because it's just way too slow for me. But if you did get in up here, these are just some things to look at. The other thing is, if you keep a little 5-minute chart, and I know Lori is a huge fan of these, you can see right in here, it's just leveled out. It doesn't want to go any higher, but you don't really know if it's going to go lower here. But also taking a short into one of these, I made mine wide gold here, yellow or whatever color that is. So it gets my attention, and you can see the proximity from where it's trading to at least what is the low part of the range. Can it break here? Yes, it can. Does it do it very often? Not so much. The other thing that helps is you clear a whole bunch of stuff off and get a 10-minute chart. And I like this just to give me a reference in it with a bigger, more clear. There's less stuff on here. And you can see just at a glance the proximity of where these really big things are, the ice and the settlement and the deviation levels, and the range box seems to not get lost quite as much on this. And then I also look at this 30-minute. There have been some times when you see this 30-minute and it will sit and hover and hover and hover. I mean, this is what, yeah, from 6:30 in the morning. This is why trading crude oil real early in the morning is not such a good idea. But when you see that for, say, like for instance, right in here, this is like basically 5 dojis. That's 2.5 hours of doing absolutely nothing. That's untradeable. It's not you, it's not the system, it's not anything. It's just, but it gives you a different perspective. I guess that's, and when you get confirmation of, 2 or 3 of these things, it will help develop your eye. At least that's how I use these. And somebody was asking me, I can't remember how I use these and why I have so many of them, but I just find them useful, and I glance at them from time to time. And then when you get in a trade, I find them very useful to help manage. So anyway, let's see, tomorrow. We didn't have much news today. However, tomorrow, the news will pick up a little bit tomorrow morning at 8:30 and 10 o'clock a little bit, but then a week from this week, next week, middle part of next week, hang on to your hat, because that's going to be FOMAC, and we'll pay real close attention to that, and there will be a lot of notices posted in the chat. So just in case you miss us here for the next few days, especially be careful in next week. So anyway, I think that's about